Hi everyone, Jason from Makera here with another project tutorial, and in this one we're looking at how to get started with the Makera CAM software for your desktop CNC machine. The first public beta release of Makera CAM offers tools for users to import a range of 2D and PCB file types to prepare projects for subtractive manufacturing through a simpler approach than what you might find in other CAM programs. And in this tutorial, we're going to look at how to set up Makera CAM to create a simple project out of aluminum by importing design files, preparing your stock, and creating toolpaths to manufacture something like this with our desktop CNC machines. Now, before you start a project like this, you always want to inventory the resources that you have available to you. We will be using the Carvera Desktop CNC, though similar techniques can be used with the Carvera Air. We will also be using aluminum stock that is 5 millimeters in thickness and a combination of drills and single flute end mills, which will be covered later in this video. And while you could follow this tutorial with a design file of your own, the files used in this tutorial can be downloaded from the knowledge sharing page on the Makera Wiki site. Now let's get started. So after launching Makera CAM, the first thing we want to do is adjust our stock parameters as needed. So you can click the edit button and select the material that you'll be using, which I will be using aluminum. And this size works fine for this project, with a length of 150 millimeters, width of 50, and a height of 5 millimeters. So I'm going to press OK. That, of course, will automatically select our tool parameters, as we'll see later on. And then the other thing you might want to do is adjust your work coordinate system. So the work coordinate system determines where the origin is of our piece of material. So we can see that by default, the work coordinate system 1 is set to have the origin in the top left corner of the stock here. But if you wanted to, you can edit the coordinate for this and adjust where the origin position would be on the stock, or you could even add another work coordinate system if you were going to work with another material, or perhaps work on the back of a piece of material as well, which you can learn more about in another one of our videos. But after everything's set in terms of stock and work coordinate system, we can then open our designed file. I'm going to open up the CAM sample that includes just the text and the outline by importing a vector design file. And after importing a design, you'll see that it actually creates a new layer, which we can then set to be our active layer by right-clicking it and setting active in the layers panel. Now we can go ahead and reposition this. So I'm going to drag a box to select the entirety of the design and then open up the transform window in the extended properties panel. And I can either punch in specific coordinates or just kind of freeform drag this a little bit closer to our origin point. You can of course adjust the position on the stock later in the Carvera controller when you set your offsets, but we can get this roughly where we want it to be on our stock. You could also choose to rotate or scale this design if you want to make it bigger or larger, but for now, moving it is just all I want to do. So I'm going to close the transform window. And while I do have this design here, I think I would like to add some holes to actually mount this as needed. So I can add some holes in the corners. And while I have a design file on the knowledge sharing page with the holes included, we're going to take advantage of the create window, edit create, and we're going to draw a circle with a diameter of 2 millimeters to create a nice little 2 millimeter hole right there. I'm then going to select this hole and copy and paste it. I can then transform this and go ahead and drag it horizontally over to the other side. So it's the same position away, like so. And then I'm going to select both of these holes, like so, and copy, paste, transform, and first bring them on top, just so then I can move them perfectly vertically, and everything will be nice and aligned. All right, so this is the design I'd like to go ahead and create. And when we start to create our paths, typically you move from simplest or smallest to largest or most complex. So we're going to start with the holes that we're going to create. So I'm going to create a new vector drilling path, and I'm then going to select all 4 holes by holding Shift on my keyboard and clicking on all 4 holes. We can see they're selected as the lines are now dotted. And the first thing we're going to do in our cutting depth is the start depth will be 0. That's the top of our material. The end depth isn't just going to be the thickness of our stock, so not just 5 millimeters, but I want to drill all the way through. So we'll see that this is actually the drill tip end depth, not necessarily where the bottom of the hole will be. So I'm going to drill to 6 millimeters, so that way I plunge all the way through my stock for the full diameter, not just the tip going all the way through. We can then scroll down a little bit. I don't need to adjust the safe offsets positions. Those are perfectly fine for the clamps that I'm using, but you could adjust this if you're using a vise or different clamps as needed. I am going to choose a different tool though. So we're going to select a 2 millimeter drill from our drill group down here. And we'll see after clicking on the drill, aluminum is already selected as our tool property preset because we've set this stock to aluminum. So I can choose that tool. We'll see that updates my parameters. And as this is aluminum, we are going to do a retract. So this will actually do a peck drilling function like this, where it will drill a little bit and then back out a little bit to allow for chip evacuation and proper cooling and make sure we don't just break our bit. So you can either do a fixed Z height. So for example, I could retract fully out of the stock or fully above the stock, or a relative distance. So a distance traveled during each retract, which I like to do. So I'm just going to back out 1.5 millimeters each time it drills to back out a little bit and give plenty of space for chip evacuation. With all this set, I can go ahead and hit calculate. And it's important to note that if you'll see the tool number here, this will correspond to the automatic tool changer of the Carvera or just your first tool being used with the Carvera Air. So this is set to tool 1, which is fine. That matches where I have this drill in my Carvera, but you also might want to adjust this tool number depending on where that's going to be in your tool changer. So I've calculated this. We can see that we have our nice little drilling diagram here drawn for our drilling paths. So we can close this path, and we can also see that we have now the path over here in our path section of the functions panel. All right, next we're going to work on the pocket for the text. So I'm going to select the text like so and create a vector pocket path. Start depth 0, that'll be the top of the stock. End depth, I'm going to create a 1.5 millimeter pocket, so a nice somewhat deep cut as we go. The safe positions are all fine for the defaults here. And for the tools, this is the last tool that I used in my previous project. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to add a single flute metal tool, and let's try the 2.5 millimeter by 12 millimeter single flute end mill for metal. And we can see again, aluminum is selected. And before I go into anything else, I'm just going to hit calculate to preview what this does. And I can see that this clears out the pocket. This, of course, is the travel of the bit here that we're seeing, but we don't get that close to the corners because this bit just doesn't quite fit. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to remove material first with this 2.5 millimeter bit, and then use a smaller bit to go in and get a little bit more. And to do that, we actually can do it under the same path here. So I don't need to create one path with the large bit and then another path with a small bit. I'm actually just going to add to my tool list. So I'm going to go ahead and add now another tool. And from the single flute metal, I'm going to select my 1 millimeter end mill, again for aluminum. And you always want to go from bigger tool to smaller tool. So this larger tool is going to clear out a lot of material, and then the smaller tool will just go in and clear out whatever wasn't already cleared. So what I want to see is I want to see all these corners get a little bit closer. So let's go ahead and recalculate, and we can absolutely see that. So we have the original path of the larger bit, but we can now see some nice sharp corners coming in closer to this design with the smaller bit. Now I could, of course, use just the small bit, right? So let me delete the large bit and calculate, and you'll see that the small bit would do fine, but notice how many travel paths need to be made. So this will take quite a while. And also this is a very tiny 1 millimeter bit, so I don't necessarily want to clear that much material with this small bit. So I want to have the 2.5 millimeter bit come in and first rough cut everything. Then the 1 millimeter bit will then go in and clean things up. So let me just calculate what this looks like. We have our nice large bit clearing first, and then the small bit going in for fine detail. Now in terms of parameters, these are the default parameters for aluminum, which should work fine to get us going, but we do want to adjust our tool numbers. So I can see that both of these are set to be tool 4 at the moment. I'm going to set my 2.5 millimeter bit to be tool 2, and then my 1 millimeter bit to be tool 3. Path strategy, this is all fine. Offset and outside in, the defaults and things, but I do want to enable ramping. So ramping will allow us to sort of gradually enter the material at an angle rather than plunging in, which is always a good idea for harder materials. So I'm going to ramp a distance of 10 millimeters, and I like to do an angle of 15 degrees or so, and that should just reduce the wear on our bits and allow us to have a nice cleaner cut as it sort of plunges in, not straight, but more of at an angle here with ramp. So I'm going to hit calculate to update those changes, and then we can close this. And you'll notice here in our path, we'll see that it's actually tool 2 and 3, all to complete this. So those tools are going to work together to create this pocket cut. And then lastly, we have our outer perimeter. So this is going to be a contour cut. So we can select the outer perimeter of the design, create a vector contour, start depth 0, end depth, I'm going to go 6 millimeters again, right? So that's a little bit deeper of my stock. That's actually probably a little bit more than I need to. We'll go 5.5 millimeters, right? So my stock is 5 millimeters thick. I'll go an additional 0.5 millimeter to make sure I cut all the way through. Of course, it's important that you have this stock secured to a piece of waste board, which we'll look at in just a bit. Offsets and positions are fine, so I don't need to change any of those. But I do want to change my tool. I'm going to select a 3.175 by 12 millimeter bit for metal. Make sure that the aluminum parameter is selected as so. We're going to be cutting on the outside of the path. And just like we did for the pocket, we can enable ramping. So I'll go, again, 10 millimeters and 15 degrees. We also want to enable tabs. So tabs will hold on to this piece of stock so it doesn't fly out. So we can hit custom to enable tabs, and it's up to you whether you like triangle or rectangle. I prefer rectangle, and I think we can set a width of 4 millimeters and maybe a thickness of 1.5 millimeters, and I can click this add button to just click and add a few tabs around my part. So click calculate, and there we go. We can see our cut there right along our stock, so I can close this. Now, if you did have this, let's say, too close to the edge of your stock, and you realize that the path is actually going to go off your stock, and let's say that you wanted to move this, right? What I can do is I can select my design, and I can go into transform and move this, but you'll notice that the paths do not move, right? So the paths are affiliated to where the design was previously. So then what I would need to do is I need to go back into these paths and recalculate. And you'll see that they now calculate to the new position of my design file. So you can always go back in, you can transform things, you can move things, but if paths have been created, they're not going to update with your design transformations. So you'll have to go back in and re-update those. So we have our design ready to go. We can now export our paths, and I'm going to go path export, and I want to export all 3 different paths, or drilling operation, pocket processing, and contour processing, although you could export just one or the other if you weren't doing all of them in a single job, or if you were using more than, let's say, 6 tools or whatever it might be. You also want to double check your tool numbers, make sure that all looks correct as you go. I can then export and save this file to my computer, and then open that up in the Carvera controller app. Now, before we open this Gcode file, we need to prepare our machine for manufacturing. We can secure the stock to the bed of our CNC on top of a piece of wasteboard, as we will be cutting all the way through the stock. If you are using the Carvera Desktop CNC with an automatic tool changer, we need to load the tools in the order that corresponds with the tool numbers assigned in our CAM project. Whenever you work with metal, we recommend utilizing the Air Assist system for chip evacuation and cooling rather than the built-in vacuum. And as discussed in our stock video, it's always a good idea to test your complex projects using softer materials like wood or plastic or foam before diving into harder materials like metal. In the Carvera controller app, we can upload the exported Gcode file from Makera CAM. In the config and run window, we can adjust our work origin offsets to reposition the design file on the stock as needed, but the position set in Makera CAM will transfer here. We can enable scan margins so that we can easily check the position of our design on the stock prior to manufacturing, and we can also enable auto probing so the machine will take the Z height position automatically off of our stock. You could also enable auto leveling, which would check the stock for any deviations in thickness and adjust for them automatically during machining, but this isn't always needed. Once configured, we can click Run. After tracing the perimeter and probing our stock, the Carvera will switch to the first tool automatically while the Carvera Air will prompt you to load the first tool manually. The drilling operation will then take place and be completed based on our design file before switching over to the 2.5mm end mill. The larger end mill will first clear out the pockets before switching to the smaller 1mm end mill to cut the remaining stock and provide a bit more detail in the pocket cuts. Lastly, the 3.175mm end mill will be used to create the contour cut around the outside of our design to separate it from the stock. Once finished, we can vacuum away the chips and carefully remove the stock from the machine, and the tabs can then be carefully cut using a handsaw and a file. And that's all there is to it. Desktop CNC machines like the Carvera and Carvera Air can be used to create a wide range of projects and products on a lot of different types of stock. And using Makera CAM allows us to also take advantage of many different designs to create our projects with greater ease. Please don't forget to subscribe, and of course check out the other tutorials on the Makera channel for more how-tos and guides, and thank you for watching.